Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for joining me for another video here, LAVI Program LLC. I'm gonna do another tarot reading today, whatever comes out. The decks we're gonna be using is the Empath Empowerment deck. It's by Judith Orloff. So we're gonna use this deck. Then we're gonna use Cosmic Energy Oracle deck. And then of course we got our usual tarot deck or tarot deck. Alright, so let's start with the empath deck. Spirit, ancestors, universe, divine, I ask for clear up this house. Get 3 cards, please, for my collective. Whatever comes out. 3 cards for my collective. Whatever comes out. Right. The bottom of the deck, we got practice self-soothing. You have the power to comfort yourself when you are upset. Place your hand gently over your heart. Send yourself unconditional love to ease tension and frustration. Okay, so practice self-soothing. Let's get 3 cards. So we have focus on gratitude. Don't wait for a crisis to happen. Be grateful for your life. Today, focus on what you have to be thankful for. So focus on gratitude. Release fear. Stop inventing scary stories about the future. Stay in the now and affirm your strengths. And one more. Stop trying to fix people. It is not your job to fix anyone. Allow people the dignity of their own paths. Bottom of the deck. Opinions are the lowest form of knowledge. Don't be thrown off by others' opinions. Simply say, I appreciate your input, and do what intuitively feels right for you. Okay, so we look like we're going to be focusing on some gratitude, releasing some fear, and we're going to stop trying to fix other people. All right, sound good to me? How y'all feeling about that? All right, let's get 5 of these cosmic energy ones. 5 cards, please, Spirit. 5 cards, please. See what this is talking about. On the bottom of the deck, we got compassion. Embrace others' differences. Accept your own imperfections. So let's see what we got. Grace. Grace is the universe's blessing. Open your heart to receive it. Remember that talked about gratitude as well. Harmony. Harmony is a beautiful melody in relationships. 3 more. Wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience and reflection. 2 more, please. Divinity. Every moment is filled with divinity. Cherish it. Strength. Your inner strength is boundless. Unleash it. Bottom of the deck, meditation. Connects you to your inner self. Okay. So what it looks like is with this gratitude, with this fear, And that desire to try and fix other people, it looks like you need to give yourself, some grace. Um, Understanding that, harmony uh, can definitely be a great melody, yes, for a relationship. However, having that wisdom, understanding that when it comes to experience and self reflection, that not everybody has gone through certain things. But you can't force them to do that path on, you can't do that path for them. They have to walk that path. So, they may not be able to understand where you're coming from because this might be new information with an experience that they have yet to, have occur in their life. Or maybe an experience that they will never have occur in their life for whatever differences or reasons. At the same time, all we can do is provide the information to individuals, but we got to let them walk their own path. Um, and then with every moment is filled with divinity, cherish it. And then lastly, that strength, your inner strength is boundless, unleash it. I think, when it comes to that divinity card, I think it's an understanding that things kind of come in its own time for everybody. Kind of like what I was saying, you might have had to have maybe a rough path or a rough, journey so far with yourself, and maybe still going through some of those same things. Um, but understanding that, your path has taught you your lessons, whatever information that you have with that. And these individuals who you may be trying to force into certain things or to force understanding into certain things, perhaps they've yet to experience, that walk or that journey in life. So it may be, like I said, they may never experience that. But all you can do is kind of pass on the information. You can't walk the journey for them. And then with the strength, when they say releasing, fear, stop inventing scary stories about the future, stay in the now and affirm your strengths. Even both of them go together, releasing fear and then the strength card. And I think it's more so because, you worry about what these people could potentially go through. Um, if they experience a certain situation that you may have experienced. I mean, maybe you even feel like these people might not get through it. But at the same time, things happen in their own time for each individual's journey. So we can't force people to come into the knowing of certain things. We can only express and relay what we have experienced and what we've learned and acquired along the way. But sometimes people have to, experience it themselves to fully understand, what it is that you may be trying to convey to them. If they don't already have the information or no knowing of certain things, when you come to them and try to express the severity of it, they're not going to see it as valuable as you do because you've already lived it. You've already known what's going to come with that. But you can't automatically assume that these individuals might not make it or that these individuals might even go through that. Releasing that fear, stop inventing those scary stories within your brain. If something occurs, things will happen for that person however it's supposed to happen for that person, but that's not your life, and your life isn't their life. So just be grateful that you've made it through what you have made it through, but release that fear and stop projecting that onto others, because you can't fix them. Whatever they're going through, they have to go through on their time. All right. Let's see what Tarot has to say about this. Bottom of the deck, we got the Six of Swords in reverse. Okay. So this, talks about personal transition, resistance to change, emotional baggage, unfinished business. Yeah, I think this, this is you. You've had that personal transition already. But resistance to change, I think sometimes you still got, it's kind of like having PTSD from the trauma that you've experienced. It's hard to let that go. Different things might trigger you, and perhaps you ran into certain people that seem to be going through or report that they are going through some of the similar situations or traumas that you've experienced. And it might set off PTSD for you, where you become anxious for them, and releasing, needing to release that fear, not projecting that onto someone else. Can you clarify this for you, please? Clarify this for you. Not collective. Okay, so we got the Emperor. Looks like, oh no, yeah. Okay, so yes, you are standing your ground, and being a little stern on the way you are trying to, it's like you put yourself on some type of a pedestal almost. Not in an ungrateful way, but just reminding yourself again to stay grateful for having gone through certain things that, I don't think is you feeling kind of like stuck up or like if someone is inferior to you. What I get by this is more so you want people to get through it the same way that you did. Um, Whatever way in which they get through it, just to get through it in general. But I feel like you're trying to make it as less painful for them as you can. Yeah, but it looks like here, you need to work on that unbiased judgment. Also setting clear boundaries for yourself, because boundaries aren't for other people. We set those boundaries for ourselves, and maybe there's something within that you need to set a healthy boundary with, because it seems like there's some projection when it comes to someone else that you may be trying to help. And it's like you're trying to rush the process for them. Yeah, this is someone who, you have familiarity with. Um, but you could also be potentially causing a new conflict, despite the fact that you're trying to give them clarity. It could be creating, a conflict. It creates a sense of control. We got this four of Pentacles. It is coming off as, controlling, because you're trying to preserve, at the same time, but you can't do that for someone else. They have to preserve, themselves. Yeah, it can almost come off as if you're manipulating with this Magician in reverse. Yeah, because of your personal beliefs, trying to force it, trying to make this change that you feel is not happening like it needs to. You're trying to force this to occur. Perhaps you feel like this person has a lack of direction and you're trying to give them this direction, but at the same time, they have to learn this within their time. You cannot force anybody to see it the way that you see it. Yeah, you might feel like they're disconnected, but it could come off as, as you just being shallow. Yeah, and look, we got the Magician in reverse again. You got the High Priestess in reverse, and you got the Magician in reverse. It's like you're you're coming off as shallow. Even though you're doing it for a good purpose, you also may be trying to manipulate that person into doing it the way that you feel like it needs to get done, and it's causing issues. Yeah, it's causing a misalignment, and it might get to a tower moment, where it could potentially, with this Ace of Cups in reverse, yeah, there'll be some broken emotion with that, where you might, again, you're trying to do some good intention, but you just so happen to rub the person the wrong way. Team 14 on the clock. All right. So, what is the advice? What is the advice for the collective? Basically, you gotta just love people for loving them. Um, don't put such of a commitment toward trying to fix things with them. And don't allow that to make you restless. I mean, I get loving people and wanting the best for them, but at the same time, some people have to learn their own lessons. Yeah, you gotta have more strength with that raw emotion. This is raw emotion, but you gotta put those healthy boundaries up for yourself. Yeah, you sitting here with anxiety over this situation when you don't have to be. You don't have to be. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for listening to my read today. I wish you all the best with the rest of your day. If you would like personal sessions, there is information in the description box. Sorry, there's information in the description box with a link to booking. When you hit that link, it also tells you what other options are available there, whether it's for tarot or whether it's for life coaching sessions. So I look forward to the next video with you all. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.